Hey everybody, CJ Thomas. This is Would You Eat It Wednesday. Today's topic is butter. Would you eat it? My people said, yeah, we would eat it for the most part. Most people on my little post today said, yes, butter. I think that's a good one. We should have that in the diet. And my people are smart. They knew. Butter is good. I'm confirming right now, spoiler alert, butter is good for you, okay? So, of course, source matters, and we're going to talk about all that, but I want to talk to you about some of the myths surrounding butter and why I get some clients coming to me, and, I get confessions, and I also get success stories. People, there's confessions usually on Monday about a bad weekend and stuff that you ate, but I also get success stories, supposed success stories, where people tell me, I took this out of the diet. I didn't eat cake. I was able to resist this cupcake this weekend. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. But then you hear other stuff like, I cut butter out of my diet. Not so good, guys, okay? So we want to keep stuff like butter and healthy fats in the diet. So, fat in general has gotten a bad rap, and it really shouldn't have. Your body has two ways that it can, two sources of energy, I should say. One is glucose, aka sugar, and the other is fat. So your body can burn glucose, aka sugar, and it can burn that quickly. It's quickly burned, which is why a lot of times you see runners and this type of stuff carbo loading and putting these things that turn into sugar in the body and can be used as energy quickly in the body. You might get away with that in a race, but that's definitely not a lifestyle that we want to lead, is dumping sugar in the body, which creates more cravings for sugar because all your body has ever known is burning sugar. So it's always got cravings for more sugar. You're addicted to sugar. Are you seeing a pattern here? You're seeing a problem, okay? So maybe you've experienced some of this in your life. It's probably because your body has never been fat adapted before. You've never been eating a proportion of fat to where your body has learned how to burn fat efficiently, which is why sometimes we get that spare tire, why we carry extra pounds, why we get some of the diseases that we get in our society, okay? So, fat can actually help you burn fat. It seems counterintuitive. I know. You're sitting there thinking, fat burns fat? That doesn't make sense. It does, okay? So your body can burn fat more slowly, and once your body is adapted to bringing in fat and using that as fuel, then it can use your reserves of fat and burn those whenever you haven't eaten in a while, whenever you're on a fasting period, whenever you're doing these other things. When you put fat in and it knows how to use that as fuel, this is a cleaner burning energy, and it's also a cancer preventative diet when you're eating a higher fat diet, okay? So keeping these healthy fats in the diet is very healthy because cancer can only thrive on one source of energy, and that is sugar. So you take the sugar out, you put the fat in, you're preventing cancer from growing, and you're burning up fat at the same time. It's kind of a win-win situation on a lot of different levels, guys, okay? So, some of the other things, here's the stats on butter. You got 1 tablespoon of butter. What's in it? 100 calories, 11 grams of fat, 7 grams of saturated fat, 30 milligrams of cholesterol. So, there's more to it than that, but these are words that are demonized in our culture. Calories, it's got fat, it's got saturated fat, it's got cholesterol. Aren't all those things bad for me? No, they're not. They're really not, okay? It was, this made-up study in the past has messed us up for decades and decades, guys. This has really gotten out of control here. So, all I can say, I don't want to go into the whole history right here, but there was a study done back in the day, which is why the FDA put this into writing and put this into food pyramids and put this into all this junk, which is why today we have the problems that we have. The bottom line is that saturated fat actually is good for you, actually can prevent obesity, actually can keep you fuller longer, okay? In fact, a lot of people think saturated fat and heart disease have strong correlation. Well, there is a strong correlation, but maybe not the way you thought, okay? Most people think it skyrockets your risk of heart disease. Not the case. In fact, studies have shown that eating full-fat, grass-fed butter may lower your chance of heart disease by as much as 69%. That is huge. That is a huge statistic there, guys, all right? And the fact is, we're eating less butter today than we did in the past. So we got these recommendations back in the day to stop eating so much fat and butter in our diet. In 1910, we ate 18 pounds of butter per capita. Heart disease was at 10%. Today, 2000 was the study, 4 pounds of butter per capita. We went from 18 down to 4 pounds of butter per capita, and now heart disease has skyrocketed up from 40 to 45%, okay? 10% to 45%. That is a big jump in heart disease and a big lowering in butter. So that's not necessarily causation, but that is a strong correlation that we need to pay attention to, guys. So, another thing, when we're talking about, cholesterol and HDL and LDL and this kind of stuff, HDL, most people think that's good cholesterol, LDL. They think that's bad cholesterol. Not necessarily the case again, okay? So we've got all these myths. I'm trying to unravel some of these myths for you so you can see why this has all gotten a bad rep, why this has all gotten tangled up. It's bad theories, it's bad data, it's bad research, it's bad everything, guys. HDL has subtypes, LDL has subtypes. Your total cholesterol number means practically nothing. So when people come to me and tell me that, hey, you know, I'm feeling good, I've been doing these workouts and I cleaned up the diet and my doctor told me to lower my cholesterol and I did. Well, if you're talking about total cholesterol, that's pretty irrelevant, okay? In fact, lowering your total cholesterol could be very, very detrimental to your health. Cholesterol is vitally important to your body, okay? Some of the things that cholesterol can do for you, okay? Enhances your cell membranes. So cell membranes, what makes up a cell? This thing that goes around a cell, the membrane around the cell, is vital to your overall health, guys, okay? It's made up of fat, it's made up of cholesterol. If you're not putting cholesterol in your body, then you're going to have bad, corrupted cell membranes. Bad things get in. A cell membrane is porous. Only certain things are supposed to get in and certain things are supposed to get out. If that cell membrane is strong and has good cholesterol surrounding it, then you have a healthy body. It's functioning properly the way it should. If you don't have healthy cell membranes, if you're getting, you know, trans fats, nasty fats, deficiency of fats, not enough fat, not enough saturated fat, not enough cholesterol in your system, your cell membrane is made up of straw and twigs instead of the brick house that it should be, letting the good stuff in and letting the, you know, bad stuff out whenever it needs to, okay? There's a lot of things at play here, okay? Cholesterol is a repair substance inside your arteries, okay? So one of the reasons people think that heart disease is caused by cholesterol, high cholesterol, is because cholesterol is at the site of heart attacks. But that's because it is building up, it is repairing those artery walls, okay? It is a repair substance when those cell walls have been damaged by other things such as sugar, such as trans fats, such as, you know, whole host of other nasty stuff that we put in our body today, okay? So cholesterol is trying to, you know, be the fireman in the situation. So you go to the scene of a fire and you see firemen there and then you accuse the firemen of starting the fire? No, the firemen are trying to stop it. The same thing with cholesterol. The cholesterol, the firemen trying to put out the fire, okay? So hopefully that makes a little sense to you. So some other things that cholesterol does for you. It is a precursor to vitamin D, so you need that. It is an antioxidant, very good. Protects us against cancer. We talked about that a little bit earlier. It helps you with neurological function, okay? So your brain health is largely affected by having cholesterol in the diet, okay? So a low cholesterol, low fat diet, you know, good way to get Alzheimer's. That's a good way to lose memory, okay? So your memory function largely depends, your brain, guys, is largely 60% or so fat and cholesterol. So you want to lower cholesterol, you want to artificially lower cholesterol in your diet, you're asking for problems brain-wise, big time, okay? So other things, it helps regulate blood sugar. That's going to help with the fat situation, and once again promotes healing and balances the tendency for inflammation, okay? So we like things that are, you know, bringing inflammation back down the way it should be, all right? Too little cholesterol. This is really the bigger problem, guys, okay? Too little cholesterol in our diet is more of a problem than too high cholesterol anymore, okay? Too little cholesterol, again, from the right sources, keep in mind, too little cholesterol can cause blood sugar problems, edema, mineral deficiencies, chronic inflammation, difficulty in healing allergies, asthma, reduced libido, infertility. This is a growing thing in our society, people having trouble getting pregnant. This is very indicative of, you know, the food that we eat and the stuff that we're putting in our body, you know. The fact that we're not able to reproduce like we once were, you know, it used to be, you know, pretty, you know, simple topic, but anymore today it's become more and more complex because food has become more and more complex. So this is something that we really need to pay attention, and it causes other reproductive problems, okay? So this is a big deal, guys, and again, I'll close by saying that the source does matter. You do want source from a cow that has, you know, we talked about Bessie in the milk video last week, okay? You want Bessie that's been out there eating her grass, nothing but grass, you know, getting her sun, getting her exercise on the pasture, not being confined into these small feedlots and stuff where it's standing in its own feces and nastiness and being injected with hormones and antibiotics. All that stuff, you know, ends up in the milk, ends up in the butter. You want to watch out for that, okay? So proper cow, properly sourced, that's going to be a good thing. Margarine, I think we mentioned early on, but margarine is not something that you want to mess with at all. My family and I, we used to eat, I can't believe it's not butter back in the day. I thought that was good. You know, it spreads nicely, it works well, you know, it tastes like butter, and it's not butter. It's not anything close to butter, okay? It's totally man-made, synthetic, crap, okay? Total crapola. If you can't believe it's not butter, you got to ask yourself, what the heck is it, okay? It's junk food. It's junk food, and it should not be in your body ever, ever. Get the margarine out immediately if you got that in the cabinet or in the fridge, all right? Ghee is one other thing I will mention here. Ghee, G-H-E-E, ghee is clarified butter, so they take all the protein out of it. Butter almost has very little protein, so casein, the main protein that's in butter, it's got very little of that, which can be disruptive for some people. So butter is usually accepted better, even if you've got, you know, dairy intolerances. Most people can do butter, and even if you can't do butter, ghee is accepted even more easily by the body. Ghee, to me, doesn't have that great a taste. I mean, it's just tasteless to me. I've had it before. I really like the taste of butter, so I keep that around, and I react well with it, so it does good for me. And it doesn't have any of the bad stuff in it. And this, in case you were wondering which butter to get at the store, this is Kerrygold right here. This is the type that I get, Kerrygold, and it's the unsalted variety right up here. You see unsalted right at the top right there. That's the good stuff. It's not that salt is bad either, I will say, but they don't put the right kind of salt in the salted version, so we can talk about salt maybe in another video as well. But butter, is it good for you? Would you eat it? Yeah, I would eat it. It's good. Right on. All right, guys. Other video ideas, you let me know, all right? Thanks for watching this one. Talk with you soon.